So Fox News made one of the dumbest economic arguments I've ever heard in response to Bernie's wealth tax proposal. Watch this.
Okay, Senator Bernie Sanders, he's now trying to regain traction in the race for 2020. Here's what's going on. The 2020 Democrats are cooking up bigger and bigger taxes that this country has never seen before. He's doing one better on Elizabeth Warren with his version of a wealth tax. It would hit American households really hard, all to fund costly, big government-run health care plans. Joining me now is from Washington, D.C., is Civic Forum Impact Chair, and he's Republican strategist Ford O'Connell. Your reaction on this? They would tax assets like stocks and land and more.
Well, let me say this. I'm not even sure that the plan is constitutional. Here's the problem that Bernie Sanders is having is he's losing ground in the polls to Elizabeth Warren, not only nationally, but in several of the key nominating contests, including Iowa and New Hampshire. There's no question that a lot of the plans that they've put forward are really pie in the sky, and nobody's actually looked at exactly who it will hurt. It's quite clear that a lot of these taxes that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders are putting forward are going to hurt middle-class Americans and potentially even lower-class Americans. But again, right now, they're just trying to win the Democratic nomination. But I do think that if either of them were in the general election nominee, we'd be talking a lot more about this.
He said a wealth tax hurts the middle class and the poor. Bro, it's called a wealth tax. What you're saying is, by definition, incorrect. He's trying to do an anti-tautology. I know this is a wealth tax and it only applies to the wealthy, but this is going to impact the middle class in a negative way. And he did the classic pie in the sky. They're so stupid. I hate it. Like, when they use the pie in the sky, man, come on, bro. This stuff's not possible. None of them acknowledge that, like, every other developed country has a lot of the policies that Bernie is pushing for. To be fair, I don't know how many of them have a wealth tax. We actually have one version of a wealth tax right now, but this wealth tax actually does hurt the middle class because it's on it's a property tax. Property tax is a version of a wealth tax, and it kicks in at anybody who's a homeowner. It kicks in at. If you own property, if you own land, you pay a tax on it, and so that actually can impact the middle class. What are the lines for the wealth taxes proposed by Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders? Ready for this? Elizabeth Warren's kicks in at $50 million. Bernie's kicks in at $32 million. That does not impact the middle class. If you have $32 million or $50 million, you are rich. End of discussion. Thank you for coming. It's not, their ideas are not pie in the sky. The ideas are basic social democratic ideas which have been proven to be widely successful and important and correct in the rest of the developed world. And when they're, guys, they have nothing on them. When this is the argument you have to go to, your argument is a wealth tax hurts the middle class. The wealth tax that kicks in over 32 million hurts the middle class. They have less than nothing. And by the way, this is another reason why Bernie would run circles around them and destroy Trump in a general election, because they have nothing on him. Now, compare and contrast this with the arguments they've been using against Biden. The whole, impeachment inquiry business of, oh my God, Trump tried to get dirt on Joe Biden from the Ukrainian president. Well, I got news for everybody. There is dirt there. And Joe Biden and his entire family are corrupt. They've cashed in off of his public name, his public profile. His son getting $50,000 a month from a Ukrainian natural gas firm. You think there's nothing sketchy going on there? Bullshit. Of course there is. Absolutely there is. So that's the arguments they use against Biden. Corrupt, so corrupt. The arguments they have against Bernie. Your wealth tax, which kicks in at over 32 million, hurts middle class and poor people. This election's going to be easy if Bernie wins the primary, and that is crystal clear.